Gina, good morning.
Good morning, Neil. How are you?
Okay, schools, absurd, you say?
Absolutely absurd. If we're going into level 5, schools should be shut down. Why is it? Now, I'm a mom of 4. Why is it that my children's safety isn't as paramount as, say, someone working in a takeaway? They're going to be shut, or like in a pub, they're going to be shut down. So why can't the schools be shut down and I understand that schools and education is important, but my children's safety is paramount to me, and it should be to every other parent. So, to me, my priority is keeping my children safe.
Yeah.
Having them in a school setting is not safe.
Why are you hearing that they're unsafe in school?
Well, they're definitely unsafe in school setting, in the school settings and in the school transport. 3 of my children are in secondary school. In one school that 2 of my children go to, there has been cases of COVID, which is fine. I understand people are going to get it. But what's the issue is that we're getting a letter from the HSE, because we've got, like, the HSE send a letter to the school send the email then to the parents saying that there's been a positive case and nothing needs to be done, because a classroom setting, according to the HSE, does not come into the setting of close contact. So the 2 meters distance that we all have to adhere to does not apply in the classroom. Okay,
so if a child in a classroom in a secondary school, for instance, or a primary for that matter, tests positive, what happens to the rest of the children in the class?
From what I have seen in the school that my children attend to, nothing. There's also been a positive case on the school bus, and Bus Éireann has contacted no one no parent has been contacted to say that there's been a positive case.
Is this a bus that carried one of your kids?
3 of them.
So your 3 kids were on a Bus Éireann school bus where there was a positive case?
Yes.
And nobody contacted you?
No, and the buses are running at full capacity. There's children, like, they're sitting next to each other, but that's not classed as, from my understanding, because I didn't get notified, obviously it's not classed as close contact either. So what is? Like the normal public transport are running at reduced capacity. Yeah. But to take my children to school, it's okay. You can herd them in like sardines. Fine. How is that fair? How is that putting my children's safety first?
Yeah.
How is that putting children's safety paramount? And I'm not talking about all children, not just mine.
And when you say children, you're talking about kids up to the age of 17, maybe even 18, is it?
I have a child gone in to do Leaving Cert. Right. He's 17. I have a child 16. I have a child 13.
And your 17-year-old, you're saying, is in a bus where the others are on top of each other on the buses?
Yeah. Right. So is my 16-year-old and so is my 13-year-old. The bus is running at full capacity.
So do you worry at all then when they come home?
Very, very. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think any parent worries. They just try not to show it to their children. Like, I'm listening to we'll go into level 5, but it's okay, the schools are reopened. I'm seriously contemplating, if it goes into level 5, not sending my children to school. Because I just think that they're like, the main numbers at the moment are between 15 and 45-year-olds.
And even 15 and 34-year-olds is even higher. Yeah.
And like, my children come into that category. Like, my eldest son, whereas he's 17, he's still classed. He would still be an adult. Whereas before there was like, oh, children don't carry it and children don't get it.
Yeah, but 17, 18-year-olds are not children really per se.
He's not. Neither is my 16-year-old.
All right. Okay.
So it's just very, very bizarre. And as I said, I tried ringing Bus Éireann, and I was on hold for 40 minutes with them. I sent an email. I've got no reply. I just want to see what their stance.
Would it make a difference taking them off the buses and getting them to school another way?
No, I don't think so. But, well, not that I don't think so, because I still worry. But I mean, there's not, like, they're still in according to the HSE, a classroom is not close contact.
But it is for family. Like, for instance, if a child tests positive in a school, the whole family have been told to restrict their movements.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not the rest of the class. Okay.
Not the rest of the class. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Thanks for that, Gina. When you look at the...
To me, it's conflicting information that's coming. They're telling a certain portion of the population to do this and the others to do this. I mean, it should be unified straight down the middle. I mean, if the doll can't fit, why should my child be inside in a classroom full of...
Because they say that it's a risk worth taking for their education. That's the thing.
Yeah, but it really, at the end of I mean, let's face it, a risk worth taking for their education. They're after making a complete hames of what was the Leaving Cert this year. But they did that for the safety of the children.
All right.
But, I mean, they're playing with mental health here. And as I said, I have a child starting. He started in September. He's gone into his Leaving Cert year. And, I mean, they're so far behind. This new stuff they've done for the Leaving Cert in 2021, it's farcical. For the higher English, they've given you, instead of a multiple choice of 4, they've now given you a multiple choice of 5.
Oh, I know.
But if you don't have the course covered, and they don't, what good is it?
Okay, interesting text here on what you're saying. One of them says, if that lady is so concerned about her children, just don't send them to school.
But again, you're only allowed to have your children out of school for 20 days before you have the government down on top of you for not having, that COVID should have been taken into consideration for this. But again, my point is they're not taking things into consideration, whereas they are with other people.